Hi, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm welcome to you. Today, I have with me Jathin. So, Jathin is just 20 years old. He's from Bangalore. And Jathin got started with internet marketing, with sales when he was 17 years old. And before he turned 19, he had already done 5 crore rupees in sales for his clients. Jathin is a high ticket closer and sales consultant, and he's flown from Bangalore to Delhi NCR for this particular session. Jathin, a very, very warm welcome to you. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm actually doing great, and it's an honor to be on your show because I remember like when you started with the Nishkarsh show, I did always have an intent. We connected like 2 years back, to do some kind of collaboration with you since we're known, but I wasn't at that stage. So yeah, like it's a thing, like probably like manifested this also. But yeah, it's good to be here, and yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. I remember the first time we interacted, you were 17. You were telling me that at that point, I think you were planning to do e-commerce.
Yeah.
Right? And then you also, when I asked you what you do, you mentioned that you do high ticket sales and DM closing and all of that.
Yeah.
I was intrigued, first of all, because I was like, man, this guy is just 17 and he's got these testimonials and he's done these huge sales figures for his clients. And then we also started working together.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we worked together for the next couple of months or almost a year, I feel, right?
Yeah.
And then I've always been very inspired, honestly, with the way you started. You mentioned, I'll not give away all the secrets. I'll let you do the talking about how you started and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really a pleasure to have you. Thank you for being here. And this is the first of its kind that we're doing.
Yeah,
so this
definitely.
This
it's
is
like
special.
my first, a podcast style interview, I would say, or a session. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And the reason that we're doing this is because I feel that what you do, so you started from zero capital.
Yeah.
In the next 2-3 years, you cross 5 CR in sales for yourself and your clients.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty crazy because traditional businesses like e-commerce or affiliate marketing or pretty much anything, you need startup capital, you need a lot of skills and all of that. But I feel what you do is something that can be started without a lot of capital. You don't even need an audience, you don't need capital, you don't even need your own product.
True.
And I think a lot of people who don't really have a huge capital, don't really have a product, they can learn from your story, they can learn from what you do and actually start making money, actually start building a business around this. So, okay, I'm pretty curious. Tell me that how did you, what's your story? When did you get to know about making money on the internet? How did you get started with all of this?
Yeah, definitely. So it all comes back to like when I was in my 12th standard.
You were 16?
12th, I suppose, 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Starts from there where, so I was like drawn to, my main mission or whatever I do was like, I'm drawn towards environment and sustainability. So I wanted to start a business there and I didn't have any interest in pursuing like the traditional education. But when it comes to starting a business, the first thing that comes in mind is like the capital that's required to get started. I was sure that I wouldn't be using my parents' money. I didn't want to have that stress. So I have to become self-sustainable first. So that's the area where I started to see like how can I start earning now so I can start saving up right now and invest in my business. That's where I started off with photography. I landed clients like Swiggy and Zomato for their product shoots.
Nice.
With the network I built, slowly I got to know the importance of sales and marketing. Okay, so that's where like sales actually came. The skill sales, it's like completely underrated and misunderstood by the society the way it's put up. But the fact you realize everything is sales, right? The doctor, one doctor gets more patients than the other because the doctor is good in branding himself, putting out there. That's nothing but sales. He's getting more patients. That's nothing but customers for their business. And it goes with the same product. It could be with schools. So everything around you is sales. The one who's better at getting attention, who's good at adding value and what's being promised and delivered.
Makes the most money, right?
Makes the most money.
Yes.
But it's also the aspect of getting the attention and so you have the customers. So that's where the whole sales aspects came in. And this is like, even if I had to start with my own business, I have to be good at sales. It's like, even if you have a shitty product or an average product, but you're great at sales, you can still sell it. But if you are really like, your product is great, but you don't know how to sell, even with the all potential, you wouldn't be able to communicate to the world out there, right?
So okay, so this is true that
Yeah.
you realized in the very beginning
Yeah.
that you should know how to sell.
Yeah.
But how did you get this understanding? How did you realize this? Because I know when I got started, I got to know about blogging when I was in my first year of college. I was 17, 18 only.
Yeah.
But I realized how important sales is after a lot of years since I started off. So what made you identify that sales is something that you should really focus on? I mean, how did you realize this? I'm really curious.
Yeah. So like I mentioned, I was drawn towards the environment, and
Yeah.
also I started to sell something known as like a water alarm system. So if you see in India, like there are many tanks that are overflowing, water wastage. That's something. I'm like, that's nothing new. It was just like I just saw some do-it-yourself video on YouTube. I tried selling it to that, and I was just part of this workshop which is known as Workbench in Bangalore. I just took it to him. He told, this is first thing is very common. It's not going to work. Just seeing it's very small product, can't be scaled. But he gave me an overview of what a pitch deck is, even if I had to present myself. Why would an investor even, see my thing? So the fact that it started with the word pitch deck, and there I slowly started to understand the importance of sales. Then I was like, okay, this product doesn't work, it's fine. But regardless, anything I'm going to go to, it requires sales. So that's where I decided I'm going to choose this as a path. I'm going to go to different companies, people who have personal brands. They have a product to sell. I'm going to learn sales, sell to them. Everything is going to be performance based. The more I sell to them, the more money I'm going to make. So there's unlimited cap. Like it's entirely based on my performance.
Got you. So
that's how I got started.
Great. So what you're telling me is that you had interest in environment.
Yeah.
You mentioned the overflowing tank issue.
Yeah.
And you built something, right, to control that problem.
Yeah.
And then you went to someone you felt would be able to help you, and then that person told you about pitch decks and all of that.
Yeah.
So you were just following your genuine curiosity because you wanted to, your genuine curiosity for the environment.
Yeah.
And that's how you got to know about pitching and sales, and then that led to, you thought that, fine, what if I do this for other people, I don't have to have my own product.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's how you got to know about appointment setting and DM closing.
Yeah. So just to give you a breakdown, like people who are listening for the first time. So every business has one standard thing. It needs customers, and so that's the lead gen part, people getting to know you, and it needs like a sales process where you're able to close these people. So appointment setting, lead gen is where you're getting the people. Sales closing is a skill where you are able to communicate efficiently and persuade them ethically on why they must choose to work with you. So these aspects come in all in all businesses. So that's where I got started with. I give this huge credit to like my early mentors from whom I learned, like Dan Locke, Jason Capital, Jeremy Minor. They taught sales, and even it's like everything with sales, like it's there on YouTube. You can learn anything.
So you learned all of this stuff from YouTube? No courses?
No, like these guys have beginner courses, like freebies. But the most of the thing, like I can tell, it's there out on YouTube
all free.
For free. Okay, even if you say a course, like it's basic common sense. Like even if that's a course, you can just go type it for free. If you get few videos, learn it. But everything you can get it on YouTube and books.
Yeah.
So there are many great sales.
Information is free.
Yeah.
And this is pretty cool because I receive a lot of DMs from people.
Yeah.
And they say that I don't have money, so I cannot invest in your course, or I cannot buy what I want to buy and all of that stuff. But what you're saying is you learn pretty much everything from YouTube for free. Yeah. So when you say that you want to give credit to your mentors, you haven't even met them, and it was all free content, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, I think people should learn a huge lesson from this, that, if you want to learn something, just fucking go and search on Google, search on YouTube, and that can actually change your life.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then, now tell me something. This is clear. A business needs leads, so you need an appointment setter who kind of books appointments, let's say a lead generator, and then you need a closer who talks to these leads and closes them on the call or on DMs, chats or DMs, right? Got it. So you learned this skill through YouTube, but the most important question is that how do these people how do appointment setters and DM closers get paid? Like, do they get paid a salary, or do they get paid a commission? How does that work? How do they make money? How do you guys make money?
So initially I got started off with solely commission based, because you have to understand, when you come from the fact that I didn't have any degree sales background, the only person who's going to trust you is based on your performance. You must learn how to create a win-win situation. So you go offer them, pitch yourself. Even this is before you even learn like appointment setting and sales closing. There's something known as cold outreach. That's something everyone needs to get good at. If I need, let's say, if I need to raise capital for a business, I need to be good at cold outreach to reach out to this one specific investor who can change my life. So once you get good at cold outreach and then appointment setting and sales closing, this again, like cold outreach teaches you how to get better at networking. So that's how, like, coming back to your question, when I get better at cold outreach, I reach out to them. I make sure the situation is win-win, which means if I generate you revenue, okay, first thing, for the first 7 days I'll work for free. Keep the money, all the money I generate. After that, if it's a good fit, the percentage really depends upon to 15 to 25% to even 30%, depends on the ticket size. Ideally, it's good, like if you're anyways about to enter sales, you better it's go behind high ticket. So if it's like $1,000, you'd put the same amount and make like a 20%, that's $200 per sale. So even if you're making like 2 sales, that's $400, which is a lot in Indian rupees. So you're still making. So the thing would be, always don't run behind money. Okay, make sure you're making a win-win situation for the client. Okay, and that's what builds trust. And even put it in a way that the amount of time I'm working for free, you give me a free testimonial if you're happy with it.
Cool.
That's how even I started to build my client. So everything was at zero cost, learning from YouTube, and networking. There's almost one more thing I have to mention is when you mentioned people reach out to you. I don't have money to invest in your course, but I want to learn. I was in that stage. I did invest in mentorships when I had made some amount of money. So before that, my approach was this. You don't necessarily have to reach out to that specific mentor who's really good. You can learn from a person who's just even 2 steps ahead of you. So what I did, like with sales, search for more sales reps. Reach out to them. Okay, they have more industry experience. Same thing goes with videographers or coders, anything. You don't have to go to a person who's 100 steps ahead of you. All you need to catch hold of that one person, learn from them, everything that could help you get further. They are basically your mentorship, and the fact that even they are into that, they might have a similar network that you will get more exposure.
Gotcha.
That's what I did. I interned in few agencies, learned from them, implemented for my own self. So it's a learning curve. You necessarily don't have to go and invest in a mentor. Books are there. Even networking and learning from, even that's a way of mentorship. Interning under someone and learning everything, even that's a way of mentorship. It's like, just don't be lazy to just sit and, I don't have the money, I can't invest. That's I'd say like a loser mentality. So yeah, you're just holding yourself back, whereas there's abundance of opportunities around you.
Got you. So what you're saying is that, okay, first you identified that you'll do DM closing, appointment setting. You learned the skills from YouTube.
Yeah.
And then when you wanted to look for clients, okay, so you mentioned a couple of things. When you say networking, like, do you mean that you were going to networking events, or were you just reaching out to people? You mentioned cold outreach. Is that what you mean by networking?
Yeah, because when I started this, it was all COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I talk about cold outreach, sales closing, the one more aspect that I would definitely like to include is copywriting. That's also nothing a form of sales, but in a written form.
I can give you an example. I remember how you reached out to me, okay? So when you reached out to me, it simply said, and it was the first of its kinds of messages that I received. I hadn't received a message like the one that you sent me. It simply said that, hi, I'm a sales closer, and I help people close high ticket sales. And it sent something. It meant that I'll work for you for free for 7 days. If I'm able to do some sales, you keep all the amount and just give me a testimonial. And after 7 days, if you feel that you had a great experience, we'll talk about working together, something of that sort. And I was like, this is cool. And then I got on a call with you and everything, and I was like, this is cool. Like, this is pretty good. And it actually made sense to me because I wasn't paying a salary. I wasn't really risking anything.
Yeah.
I spoke with you. I trusted you, and I was like, fine, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then when we started working together, of course, we saw the sales coming in. I was like, wow, man, like, I haven't put in any money and I'm getting sales from this guy. So it just builds trust and credibility.
Yeah.
And then eventually we partnered and we thought about, okay, this is how we're going to share the profits and everything.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, You also mentioned you work with agencies and stuff. Tell me more about that. Like, what kind of agencies?
Yeah, these were, again, it depends. Like, if for me it was sales, where the agency was working with business coaches and consultants. So I picked that agency. If you are into coding or something, or a graphic designer, go find, send LinkedIn requests. Get good at cold outreach, send LinkedIn requests, work with them, see how you can add value, and you make sure there is no risk to them. When I mean risk, they are not investing their money into you and having something to lose. It's
Okay.
like a win-win, like what I do. So that provides a sense of security. So that's the same way I intern with an agency. Like, hey, like I want to work from you, I learn, and even if all the initial phases I make the money, like you guys can keep it, and I'm here to learn. So that's the way
That's
altogether.
superb.
Yeah.
So you reach out to the right people.
Yeah.
You try to create a win-win. You don't expect them to pay you at the start because you want to build trust.
Yeah.
And you offer them your services for free. You let them keep the money that you're going to make for them. And once you build that trust, once you build that credibility, that's when you even talk about money and yourself.
Yeah,
Right?
you can
That's cool.
even with just the commission, you can eventually move to a retainer basis, because
Yeah.
if you're a quality talent, they are willing to retain you, but for an additional amount,
Yes.
because you're putting in your time. So that's the time.
That's super, because
Yeah.
not just with appointment setting and DM closing, people can do this with Facebook ads, people
Yeah.
can do this with graphic designing,
Yeah.
they can do it with photography as well.
Yeah.
That if someone's launching an e-commerce brand, then
Yeah.
I would click pictures for you for free. You
Yeah.
keep it, don't pay me. If you like it, let's do the next project together, something of that sort.
That's
Because
right.
it's kind of like you're investing your skills and you're investing your time
Yeah.
into this particular brand or that particular person. And if you do good work, it's just going to come back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me something, particularly with appointment setting. So we'll add links to your recommended channels in the description so that people can learn appointment
Yeah.
setting or DM closing from
Yeah.
there. How do you find these people? So एक तो हो गया कि ठीक है, we learn the skill. But what kind of people should we be reaching out to? What kind of coaches do I find? What kind of things should I keep in mind when I'm looking for these coaches or consultant service providers? How do we approach that?
Yeah, got it. In my case, I'll just give an example and then I'll go ahead with a generalized example so everyone can rate it better. For me, I was working with coaches and consultants. Let's say if it's a coach who teaches e-commerce, he's known as an e-com coach. Real estate coach. All it requires is a simple go ahead. I think if anything on Instagram search for, just put e-com coach. See the number of people they appear.
Yes.
Go to Google, just type e-com coaches. They have listed themselves.
Super.
Now all you need to get good at is like collecting that personal information. That could be that Instagram handles, emails, phone numbers and all that. Like I mentioned, first step, get good at copywriting and cold outreach. Send them a message. Make sure you even have a good follow-up message as well. You craft a message in a way with good copywriting in a cold outbound way where they're intrigued by your services.
Okay, cool. Wait. So I'll stop you here. We're talking about cold outreach.
Yeah.
So if you had to reach out to, let's say, an e-com coach, okay, how would you reach out? I mean, just an example. What would you write?
Simple. Go to Instagram. If it's e-com coach, or even it's more like if it's Amazon, like e-com is a broad sector.
Yeah, Amazon FBA. and all
Amazon
that.
FBA.
What message would you send this guy?
So it really, I've tested multiple ways. So the first thing is always to make sure a message what is in it for them. You're not going to waste their time. And the other two elements, be creative. I use voice notes that increases the conversion.
Yes, it makes you curious,
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, the
Yes.
first thing for my thing, it's always like, again, I've learned this from a lot of coaches and tweak my messages again and again. But all that comes is making the offer irresistible. You personalize the message. You first see, again, whenever you reach out to a person, and you must come from a mindset that you're genuinely there to help them. The only time when you genuinely help them is like when you put in the time to do enough research. That way, first thing, once you're there to help, and once you've done enough research, now you go ahead and write a personalized message of what you liked about them. It could be the article they've written. It could be something about their course or anything. Compliment them. Go ahead with what is that you want to help them with. Structure your irresistible offer. And it should be like, I'll work for this XYZ days. If it works well, I need a testimonial. That's all I need. And end it with voice notes that builds curiosity. I'm actually even coming up with a whole like a workshop kind of thing where I'll be going in depth for this to see like to show everyone like what's worked for me. That's completely free, like not like like a course or something. But yeah, I'll be getting deep into this.
We'll add its link.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever you go live. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but if I had to put it like you have to get good at creating. There is a standard template for every cold outreach, but you have to get creative with you making your own custom videos to them.
Yes.
Yeah. But make sure you have done enough research
That's
on that
important.
person.
I kind of understand that. So I know a lot of people who do a lot of cold outreach as well.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the problem. The problem is that they just search for random templates on Google.
Just change their name.
Yeah, they just keep changing names of the person and they keep copy pasting it because they're playing the volume game. You know that if we send messages to 100 people, maybe one of them is going to reply to us. But it doesn't really work. You know, it in fact, not just in terms of working, it also spoils the chances of getting work from all those 100
Yeah,
people.
not only
reaching out
that,
to.
even like let's say if it's your Gmail account or even Instagram, the fact that you keep using a standard template, just changing name, your account would
Can get
automatically
banned. Yeah, they'll restrict you from sending messages, right? So yeah, that's pretty cool. That one you keep in mind that you want to add value to this person or that business. Forget about yourself for now. You're there when you're reaching out to the person. Look at the profile. Let's say on Instagram that I want to reach out to this guy and add value to his life or her life or whatever. And then you do some research. You go through their content. You go through that. What do they sell? How do they make money? How do they add value to people's lives? Have a look at their interviews. Read their content, and whatever you vibe with, whatever you like, genuinely just share it with them. That hey, I just got to know about the digital. Let's say I got to know about this program of yours that you sell.
Yeah.
Do you know the problem that I see with a lot of people who do cold outreach is that they find some random templates on Google, and they just keep changing the names and everything, and they keep reaching out to people. They play the volume game wherein they feel that we reach out to 100 people, maybe one person will reply to us. But I think when they do this, they are actually spoiling a lot of business potential opportunities from all the people they're reaching out to.
Yeah.
So what you mentioned, I really like it, that first, when you're reaching out to someone, don't reach out to them. I mean, you're reaching out to them because you want to do business with them. But instead of keeping that in the forefront, you should ask yourself that how can I genuinely serve this person? How can I add value to this person's life? Because everything in life is an exchange. If you don't add value to someone, you cannot expect them to give you value through us. Let's say by value, I mean it could be a salary, it could be a commission or whatever it is. And I think this is very different as well because most people out there, they just care about themselves and they don't know what they're doing. So one, go with the mindset that I want to add value to this person's life. Two, research about the person. Read their blogs, go through their Instagram content, go through their highlights on Instagram, see if they're on YouTube, have a look at their LinkedIn, have a look at their websites, understand what are they selling, understand how do they sell, maybe spy on their ads by going to their Facebook pages or whatever. Understand them, and then whatever genuinely clicks with you, whatever you like, whatever you appreciate, just mention that when you're reaching out to that person. In a very small paragraph or a very small message, you don't have to write like long chittas and long paragraphs. That hey, I just went through, did this, and I think I really like the way they did this. And don't make it, don't just say that, that I went through this article, it was great. I mean,
don't make it too obvious.
Yes, that I'm just playing around. Don't do that. This is one advice I'd like to share with everyone because I know people who do this and I've heard from them that it does not really help, right? So you genuinely want to say something that's relevant and then you make an offer that you mentioned that, hey, a win-win. But and a bigger win for them in the beginning. That hey, I can help you. Let's say if they sell books, I can help you sell more books through appointment setting or let's say DM closing, whatever. And for the first 7 days, for the first 10 days, whatever sales I get, you keep it. I don't want anything. And after 10 days, if you like my work, just give me a testimonial. And if in case you like working together after that, we can have a conversation later. But for the first 10 days, I just want to add value to your business, something of that sort. So this whole template, you've given like a copywriting course in these few seconds. In these few minutes. I think that's pretty cool. So what has your average closing rate been? Have you ever calculated that when you do cold outreach to get clients? How does that work? Like, do you have some numbers?
Okay, so when you mean a closing rate of how many messages,
How many clients you get? Yes,
okay, this is like one interesting framework. Like I've specifically kept this for the workshop because okay, I'll just tell it. Like one of the most highest, like,
and by the way, this workshop is free, right?
yeah, it is. Like,
It is all free.
Yeah,
all free, all free. Huh.
yeah. So basically, it's people might find it like to like not to be true, but it's been close to 80% with the specific template I follow. It's one is like sort your messages out. Never send an entire block message. The moment anyone sees like an entire block message, they skim through it. Send like like Jason Capital says, like a 5-year-old girl texting, block, block, block. That segments the message. Format being personalized first. Know what is in it for them that they're going to get if they work with you, and what is that you require from them. Like, why are you doing it? It could be a free case study, something. That's one thing. So, and once you end with voice notes, this is something I've given an overview. This has the most highest response rate, and every time I've sent this, I want on a call with the client and I've closed them.
Super. 80% is
80% is high, and even 80% is the response rate. 80% is not the closing rate. Even if they say like they're going to tell you no,
but at least they're replying to you.
They're at least replying, and that's saving your time instead you having to wait and hope for it.
And how do you follow up with these guys if they don't reply to you?
Yeah, so again, here also you need to, this again comes from a mindset of you being genuinely that help. See what is that they need in their business, okay, that they need help with, and you draft a follow-up message like, hey name, I saw this is missing, make this simple tweak, I have this would work better for you.
Super.
Just be in mindset of adding value, because that's the way. Like if I see a person who's just adding value to me and who still hasn't gotten anything but still is adding value inputs and helping me out, why wouldn't I
this
trust
is fire, man. Like, this is so good, because usually the way people follow up is they would send question marks and they would say, hey, did you read my message, and all of that. But I mean, that's weird. Like, if the person had to reply to you, he would have replied in the first place. But this is pretty cool. Like, if let's say I am finding someone on Instagram and I know they're creating reels, so what I could do is, maybe I could, even if I don't know about reels, I could just find some tips that people could use to create better reels, and then I could say, hey, there's this one thing that I noticed, your hooks, the first 3 seconds of the reels could be better. Here's an article that I found for you, or these are a few hook ideas that you can use. That's pretty cool. And that's actually very nice.
Again, you can, even in the follow-up, give a free value and again drop your offer. By the way, I can create a free video, like if it's a video service, I could create a quick free one reel for you if that's something of your interest. Whereas I've seen, like, since I do handle like many or several accounts, I've seen block messages. They don't even read it. They just delete the message. The more often you do it, your account will instead get blocked. So yeah, that's all. Again, it's a cold outbound is a really beautiful skill. The better you get at it, the better you get at networking, and more opportunities will come in your way.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
Again, you have to be creative, because through voice, through videos. Again, it's a creative field in itself. Like even the cold outbound, there's no set. The only set template is make sure you're there to add value. Make sure you personalize it. Make sure you make sense and you're not wasting anyone's time.
Okay, so if you break this down into step by step, first you learn the skill of sales, or let's say DM closing, appointment setting, whatever. To learn them, people go to free YouTube videos, a few names that you recommended, like Jason Capital, Dan Locke, let's say. Then you start, if you can work with agencies, this is optional. If you want to work with people for free, you can do that. Otherwise, if you've learned the skills, next what you do is you start reaching out to people. You find the kind of people you want to work with, let's say coaches or consultants. It could be anything. Like, there are so many, ideally someone who has something to sell, like a coaching service. It could be an agency, it could be someone who's into dating, coaching, or whatever, right? What kind of people have you, or what kind of people do you think people should find? What kind of keywords should people search for, apart from the examples that you gave, like e-commerce coach, Amazon coach? I
would suggest, like, really depends on one's interest. Keyword, like if I'm a videographer for e-com brands, like let's say they have products, I'm good at making videos, I would just go ahead and type e-com store you'll get multiple e-com stores, okay, and you get the company's listing, like their email, contact number, owner. It's easy to find on LinkedIn.
Gotcha. So it depends on what service you want to offer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really depends, but all I'm saying is it's just a Google search and Instagram search away, and yeah.
Got you. So step 2, you find these guys. Step 3, you reach out to them, and what you do is you follow a very basic rule of thumb. That one, you share something to get their attention, something that you genuinely liked about them after researching about these guys, after understanding what they sell, and then you just mention them that you're gonna create a win for them, and your approach with the mindset that you want to add value to their lives first. You offer to work with them for free for the first 7-10 days, let's say.
Yeah.
And then you don't even talk about money and what's in it for you right now. I mean, in terms of money.
Yeah.
And then you start working with them. You know, one thing that I'm noticing over and over again, you're always thinking from the client's perspective, which is a cool thing.
Yeah.
Reach out. So when you say that when you're reaching out to them, think about adding value to them first. So you're keeping yourself in your client's shoes when you're thinking. That's a pretty dope thing to do. Same thing when it comes to when I asked you about getting access to their accounts. Again, you thought about that, okay, if someone reaches out to me like that, will I give them access to my accounts? No. So this is one huge thing that people can learn, that when you want to do business with someone, before you say anything, you want to start thinking from their perspective, and you want to think from the perspective that how can I add value to this person's lives. That's pretty cool. Okay, what is the average profit share or the commission that you get when you sell for these guys?
So it's ideally 15 to 20% on anything that's above $1,000. The lesser the ticket size gets, the more the commission increases. But to be honest, like, it takes almost the same amount of efforts to close a low tier product, mid tier product, and high tier.
So like, what do you mean by low tier or mid tier?
For me, low tier would, like, and mid tier is like, it's again different. Everyone has the standards, but like, if I just had to generalize it, high ticket anything above $1,000, mid being $500, $500, or anything below that you can just consider like low ticket.
Gotcha.
So it really takes the same amount of effort to close one. So I always suggest, like, once I'm at a stage like where I just go above $3,000. So that's my thing. Yeah, but again, the commission increases when the ticket size decreases. You just have to make sure your time is worth it.
But you've had better experience. You've had better experiences selling higher ticket products, right?
Yeah.
Because you're saying it takes the same amount of effort, you get paid more.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me something now, because most of these guys selling high ticket products are going to be from US. I mean, from countries outside India. So have you faced issues with the time zones? I have couple of issues coming. But how do you deal with the time zone issues, because they're usually working in the night, right?
I mean, that's something that I'm ready to work around that timing, because that's what is required from my job perspective. Cool. This goes with even any job. Like, it's 9 to 5, but there are many people working the time zone in the so that's not a thing. Few people call it like a sacrifice, but I feel like it's a job. Like, you're taking that part, they don't see the flexibility that gives you can work from your home anywhere. So that's about one part. And
if in case, let's say, someone does not want to work in the night, they can find clients from other countries like Australia, because the Australian time zone, a lot of the countries in Australia, they're like 4 hours. I think we are 4 hours ahead of them. A lot of the time.
No, they are ahead of us. Like Australia.
Okay.
Yeah, they're ahead. But again, I don't think, like, if you're ready to put in the work, the time.
It should matter. I understand.
As long as you have like 5 different people from 5 different time zones.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a problem.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that also makes sense. The second issue that could pop up is, do these guys not trust you because you're an Indian, that you're not a native from their country? Don't they doubt you that would this person be able to close for me? Have you ever faced issues like that?
With few, yes. With few, like, they just tested the skill worked good, and they tried. I never had. In fact, with the clients I was working when I was 18, like, they thought like I was like 25 plus. So first thing, as long as you're delivering results, no one's going to question your ethnicity, nationality, or anything.
Super.
And again, this comes down to sales. When the first call that happens with them, you have to present yourselves better. That again, sales comes in there where you're about to close. If they don't view you as an authority, they would, even if you're like an American, like, which they would prefer, but you're low on authority, like less confident, they would pick anyone from other country. It again comes down to the way you sell yourself. Yeah, so again, as long as you're able to present yourself better with good fluency and all that, it's good. Like, they wouldn't have any problem with your nationality.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me something. Okay, we've discussed about how we can how we can get clients as DM closers or appointment sellers. When you're actually doing closing for them, when you're on chats with people or when you're on calls with people, let's talk about chats for now. When you're closing them on DMs, what are the top learnings you've had when it comes to closing people for your clients?
Yeah, first thing is like you're gonna make a ton of mistakes. You'll be embarrassed. Okay, that's like that. Literally, I thought that's just the thing, but that's the thing for everyone at every scale. It's like at every levels we do face like something starting from scratch. So that's something. So messing up is completely fine. It's what you do. You learn, you apologize, you learn, tweak, and get better. So that's something. And second thing is like you get better and better at psychology, stuff like that. So, and also the one more thing, like there's this person called Michael Harbone. Like I want to give a lot of credits to him. You have to pick a partner in the same industry who has the same drive as you, and you have the healthy competition. Okay, so this person, like we both did a lot of practice role plays in terms of sales. I have a lot of credits to give to him. Even a guy called Hamza and these two. So again, it comes down to even people. Yes, you are practicing a skill. You are working on something. Make sure you are well connected in the network where you can learn from, because you're going to learn from a lot of people as well. You're going to make mistakes. That's the thing. You learn more from people, and you also learn more through experience. Often, yes, you are given a set framework to follow. You'll make mistakes. You learn. It's again comes down to experience and the people you work with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is there a particular framework that you follow when you're closing clients? Like, just to give you an example, let's say that you first break the ice with the person you're talking with, or you ask them a couple of questions. Like, when we close people on DMs, we ask them about their background, and then we ask them that why do they even want to build what we're offering, and then we ask them about their budgets. What kind of capital do you want to invest? So we've got this filtration process before we even talk about our product, our program, or before we even get them to book a call and speak with our team. So, is there a specific framework that you follow for these for the closing that you do?
Yeah, definitely for closing. Again, it also depends on each funnel. A lot of people who are watching might not know even what a funnel is. It's the way the leads come in and the way you close. Everything's different, but one standard template that goes across almost all closing is first thing comes is qualification of the client, of the prospect, to know where they're from, what's their age, everything. That's the qualification. Building rapport is the most important thing, that stays throughout the closing phase. Rapport is nothing but just building a genuine interaction, making them feel like you're not like a bot who's texting, or even if you're on call, not like a robotic guy who's just reading out scripts. It's like building rapport. That has to be really good. And after that comes this qualification, knowing that you're talking to the right person and not wasting time, understanding their pain points. What is it and why did they even reach out to you? What's that you're trying to help them with, and even can you even help them? And then you understand goals. You understand goals, so even are you capable enough, or are your services good enough to help this client reach these goals? If they make sense, if the pain points make sense, and the goals make sense, and even if they're qualified in terms of age, all that, then you go ahead with the call or you go ahead with the close.
Superb.
Yeah.
Step one, you build rapport.
Yeah.
So that you don't just sound like a robot.
Yeah.
And rapport can be built by asking normal questions, commenting something about their profile.
Yeah.
Talking about where they're from, right?
Yeah. It happens throughout the rapport building. One thing I've noticed, even that's some mistake even I made. A lot of people confuse the rapport building is just one phase. You just build a relationship at the start,
and then you get into the next phase.
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's
work
not
like
that.
that.
It's like a slice of bread, and it's a spread. It exists throughout rapport.
Gotcha.
It exists even after you close the client. It's like a relationship building process.
So you want to build a relationship.
Yeah.
Kind of a relationship.
Yeah, and that's what everything even it's selling is also building a genuine relationship where you're there to help.
So when you're trying to talk to people and during chat you realize that the person's not interested, so you cannot really put yourself out too much, right? So do you model the way they talk to you? How do you deal with that? If someone's not interested, if someone's just giving you one word replies, you cannot just keep sending long messages to them. How do you deal with that?
So that's why I mentioned the qualification is the first part. We try opening them up through deep questions. It's different cases, different scenarios. If they're still we do have certain criteria set, because at the end of the day, when you're putting in time, if they qualified as hot, warm leads, you close them faster. If they're not ready to open up, being too egoistic, it wouldn't be a good fit for business either ways. If they're not ready to open, you tried your best. You put in 100% in the right way, and if they're still the same, it's not even worth your time to go ahead and close.
Super.
So it's a mismatch anyway. It's approaching a girl, she's not at all interested. You're trying again and again and again.
Yeah.
Not interested, and it's not going to work like that.
So you have to be a suck londa, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, you give your best, but it doesn't mean that you want to praise. Praise the person like that, or just bow down and.
Yeah, you don't have to be desperate because
you don't have to be desperate.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's pretty cool as well. So we've spoken about how to get these clients. We've spoken about building rapport, and then you spoke about qualifying. And so getting these clients is one thing, and then working for them is the other thing, right? So when you work with them, you build rapport, you qualify them before you actually make you add a call to action like a sale or a call, to get them to book a call with you. Cool. But the overall, so what I'm understanding is that one, you want to think from the client's perspective, no matter if it's your client or if it's that person's client.
Yeah.
You want to build rapport. You want to always think about how you can add value to the other person.
Yeah.
You should not be in a rush. You should not offer a call, or you should not even talk about your product if the person does not seem qualified.
Yeah.
And if someone's not really paying heed to you, if someone's not replying to you properly, even if you've given your best, if someone's not opening out, it's totally fine to let go of that person, and just maybe you can directly say that based on the conversation, I don't think so that you even need this. That's superb, man. I think you've kind of summarized a full course in this
this summary version, the whole detailed workshop, I'll definitely release it soon. But if I have to give an exact a step-by-step roadmap, regardless, I know we have discussed a lot, but if there are few steps, first thing is working on the mindset. And that's because even me, if anyone has been through a course or anything, they just don't dive into the money making aspect or the skill first. They dive into the mindset first. And that's because even whatever I've told, you do the closing, everything, but if your mindset is bad, which means you've just tried only a few times and you're not doing that on a quantity, you will give up way too soon and you won't see results. And you'll blame some other person that this didn't work for me. So that's the same thing, right? So it's the mindset of not giving up way too fast. You can tweak, you can see, you can test things out, but don't give up way too fast. It's not like you send 30 cold DMs and you just leave saying it didn't work. So working on the mindset, and also pick you genuinely must understand. Because I work with people of my age, the businesses they try to build, or even they think of, few are valuable and few are not at all valuable. When I mean value, it's either saving someone's time, it's either saving someone's money, or both in some cases, or it's making their life easier. Even a detergent powder makes your life easier, phone makes your life easier, a bottle has a value of containing water.
Yes.
There are some services which are not at all required. So that's where they don't sell more, scale more, and people don't, find value. So if you're going after a skill, make sure there's enough demand that people are willing to invest in that. Because otherwise, you will invest your time in learning something that's not at all useful to the marketplace, because it's exchange of value. Once you feel that, you've got the value proposition right, your mindset is right, that you're genuinely there to add value and help people, and you're not willing to give up, go ahead and learn basics of copywriting. Go ahead and learn basics of sales, and then cold outreach, as I mentioned, step by step, and apply, use Google, use YouTube, to find leads, LinkedIn. Okay, and you have now the contact list through all these copywriting, sales aspects. Now you know that how to network with people. Even you have got the skill now, which is valuable. That is no reason now on why you can't make money. And you got started with zero because everything till here was free. Now you have made enough money, invest instead of going and investing in something else like stock and making like little person, invest that in yourself by networking with people in the same industry. That's what I did initially. Because that's the only certain investment that you can make in yourself, right? That you're going to get high returns. Like if I'm going to visit this networking event, I know I'll be meeting these people. I can use the same thing, closing framework, to get more clients, more cash flow. So that's the way. Everything is for free. Now you take that cash and invest in something that again would buy back your time, get you access to that network.
Tell me something. I mean, okay, this is all superb. It's fire. Okay. You started when you were 17. When before turning 19, you had done 5 CR in sales.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that, to be honest, I generally never reveal this. In that phase, I had chilled for 6 months, which was unactive. I should have scaled that business more rapidly. It was my other people who were hired under me. The thing is, even with all the people I hired were from colleges. They were working on their own stuff. They were earning like INR and multiple 7 figures in a year. So yeah, it's like I had trained them as well. I got like bunch of testimonials listed on the website. So that's the thing. So I should have, like, even I chilled, like I did work, even I did chill, and then I came back once again. So during the 6 months break, so I had automated in a way that others are able to close for me.
Okay.
For my other clients as well. So yeah, I didn't aggressively scale during that phase.
Alright, so that makes sense. So when you got started with this, was the intention that, I mean, did you have this thirst of making money, or was it just a genuine interest of building that environment friendly project that led to one thing and another?
Yeah, it was like it's going after the why led me to this comes from, yeah, it was genuinely like I know I needed money, but I needed money for a bigger reason. So that reason stuck along with, still sticks with me on why I should make. And if the reason is big enough, you'll also find the way how you can have most amount of progress in less amount of time.
What was your reason?
Like to as much as capital required to get started with this, as much as like good skills that I can implement in this business and good quality of people. And that's what led to sales. Otherwise, if my thing was like, just to make like a pocket money, I could, which many people think. I'm not saying it's wrong, but what I'm saying is you'll go in a way where you trade time for money. You'll be paid, you'll be chained to a salary with no potential income, and your learning curve stops there. And it's not high skill, you'll be replaced easily. Now, few people might feel offended like when I say they trade time for money, but at the end of the day, even they know that they want to have like more income in less amount of time. So all I'm saying is have a bigger why and acquire those skills that would lead you to, basically I would say like acquire the skill set that makes you more valuable, contributes towards your why, and that's how. So yeah, basically I never chased money. At some point, I was like more towards money, then I switched focus. Even when you start chasing money, here's what happens. Let me tell you, because it happened with me. I stopped giving. Initially, I started off with the mindset I need to help. That's where I made most amount of money. When you start becoming selfish, when you start thinking about me, like I want to make this sale so I can earn this much, your mindsets, you go in a desperation phase where you stop thinking about the other person. You automatically get bad at sales. You automatically start performing bad because you're so drawn to the other person, like just to making a sale without any impact or giving genuine care. So even if the whole purpose is just to make money, I don't think it's going to be a long-term sustainable thing. So it's a thing, like it again starts with the mindset. So yeah.
What you've shared is actually making me rethink that. This is after we're done with this, I'm actually gonna think about this. Whatever businesses that I am involved in, whatever content I create or whatever it is, I think everyone should focus on the end customer or the end viewer, because I think the intention should always be to add value to their lives first.
Yeah.
But what we use, and I can relate to that, what we usually do is we focus on ourselves and we just do what's comfortable for us. We just do what's gonna work for us, and we stop caring about people. That has happened with me as well.
Yeah.
Wherein I just became money centric, and it was all about the money. I realized this in my own journey with e-commerce, wherein we were just selling random t-shirts. We did not care. We were shipping from China, not caring about the quality. We were making money and all of that, but then I reached the point where I realized that I don't want to do this anymore because I don't find meaning in it. I don't see adding any value to people's lives. And that's when in 2021 we started Calvin Ross, the brand that I'm currently running. And a similar thing also happened with the coaching business that I run. So I understand, and that's pretty valuable.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't pay attention, the market automatically, even your habits automatically start reflecting. Like, hey, you don't care enough, so you're not going to get paid high enough over here because you're not adding value. Yeah, if you're, some people will do in short amount of time, but it's going to be short, and even it might even clash back. People would come against you because you haven't provided value enough. So yeah, it's like a mix of both.
Cool.
For short term, it might be good. For long term,
it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
You know what I'm going to do? You've shared so much cool information. I'm going to create kind of a step-by-step flowchart of sorts just after we stop recording this.
Yeah.
Kind of a step-by-step process showing how people should approach DM closing, appointment setting, and also the top things that I have learned from this conversation. I'll write it down and I'll maybe take a picture of it and I'll add it to the video, or I'll add it below in the description somewhere. This is just a reminder for myself. But yeah, it's been really awesome knowing from you. Thank you for sharing whatever you've shared. Now, before I say anything else, is there any tip or any advice that you want to give to people listening to this?
I would say, like, the first thing is like not to give a shit about people, because if you're gonna start, like, I might get emotional, but like you're gonna get like a lot of backlash, people doubt, the other parents commenting on different stuff. So shit, I might get emotional, but yeah, like it's gonna be hard. But yeah, you just have to stick to it.
So you mean not giving a f about people, especially people who have no value in life,
Yeah, I think it's also the thing that, but you also have to understand, like, sometimes you have to give a fuck if it's a valuable opinion. The only way you'll come to know this is like when you're mentored by the right people. I would say. So always have that some kind of a mentor who's there and not like just like for financial thing, who genuinely cares. At least could give you a roadmap, even there's nothing in for him, but he has taken the path that you want to go, and is there to guide you with the network and stuff like that. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah, not to give shit about people, have the right people, and so once you think like you're progressing in every way possible, you have a good mindset, you have like you're delivering value but you're still not getting results, then it's a quantity game that stick long enough. It's just take like this. I at least take like this. It's like a universe taking a test, like, do you actually want this? Let me test you through duration. If you stick along, you'll get it. So yeah, first thing comes with mindset. Be there for a good cause, have the right people around you, and stick long enough so you're true to yourself that this is something you want to do. And if you feel this is not something, it's completely fine. Don't be too judgmental on yourself. We're just experimenting, and you can just go on.
You have water?
Yeah.
When you getting emotional and stuff, I kind of relate with that because it has happened with me a lot of times as well. Especially when it comes to people. You're gonna meet people who will do really bad stuff. And you will be like, why the hell are people even doing this to me? It happens. This takes me back to failed business partnerships I've had. All the weird stuff that has happened, I've literally cried myself so many times. People would want you to give up. I read this in a book. It says that people play status games. They're trying to build their credibility, not even credibility. Yes.
Their opinion stronger.
Yes, they're trying to build status by using you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's bullshit. And they're playing a game which will give them negative returns. Like, what returns will they get? Nothing.
Yeah.
You know, the other day, a couple years back, I saw someone creating a shitty video about me. It was the first time I saw someone doing that.
Yeah.
And I was taken aback. I was like, why? I mean, it was illogical, baseless, but it did affect me.
Yeah.
But then through my friends and mentors, I realized that it doesn't matter. It took me a while to realize that maybe, you know, this person's nothing to do and he's just doing I mean, imagine someone who does not even know me, he just finds me on the internet, creates a video about me, which is baseless. I can just imagine that the person has nothing else to do in life. You know, he's so negative. And he's got no returns. He's not made any money by doing that. He's not got any value. But he thinks that he's gaining status, that, you know, that I'm sharing this stuff with you, and it's all bullshit. And that's when I realized that life is very short.
Yeah.
And you should not really care about people. I mean, only care about people who you would take advice from.
Yeah, like they have been in the stage where that's what, like,
Yes.
they walked a path that you are about to.
Yeah, people you love,
Yeah.
people who you respect. I think those are the people who should matter to you the most.
Yeah.
Your family, your friends, who you genuinely connect with.
Yeah.
Sometimes even your friends mess up. You know, a lot of times people you trust a lot, even they mess up. And I feel it just shows you their true colors.
Yeah.
That even after so many years of friendship, if this person can go down to this level today, it just talks a lot about that person. Actions speak louder than words all the time.
Yeah.
So it talks a lot about the person, and I think it's just the universe and God giving us lessons. We learn from it, we become stronger. Whatever doesn't kill us makes us stronger.
Yeah.
And we just keep moving forward with it.
Yeah, I think those 3 things I mentioned were for the good aspect, like you going in the right direction to make sure, you know, having mentors, a valuable skill set and all that. The one thing that I've personally done to myself, which would automatically destroy, is this is with everyone, is you start comparing yourself with others, and that's the time you become more unhappy.
Yes.
And that's something I believe everyone faces that. It's just to suppress that feeling of don't compare yourself, because if you're going to compare, because there's always going to be someone better than you in the same age group, might have more money, better relationships, or it's like not to compare or get into the race of having resources. It's probably like, it's something like I still tell to myself, you know, be better than what is usual, but still that, you know, the comparison thing comes.
It comes up, I understand.
It comes and goes.
And you know what? I think comparison is all bullshit, you know, because like, what is the point comparing myself to someone? I mean, he's like the other person that you're comparing yourself with, that anyone compares themselves with, is coming from a different family, is coming from a different background, has a different nature, has altogether a different DNA, has different experiences, has had, you know, I mean, that person's story is maybe, and if you compare yourself to that person, don't just compare and think that this person has these results or these outcomes. You know, I mean, it's baseless. It's like comparing a camera to a goat. I mean, there's no comparison, you know? Right? So I think comparison is all bullshit. And I feel that, you know, a person should play in business, in life, whatever. A person should be themselves and they should play games that they enjoy. If you're fucking enjoying something, if you're doing something which is like a game for you, everyone else would want to compete with you, but you don't care because you're just playing your game.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like healthy competition.
Yeah.
Again, business has comparison like valid at few, like if you're comparing product, and that makes sense. Not to a level like where you're comparing like yourself, where you would automatically put yourself down. Yeah. So that's the thing.
Yeah. All right. So Jathin, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for sharing whatever you've shared. Like I said, what I'm going to do is this free workshop that you're planning to do. And just to share with everyone, this is all free. We had a discussion about this before even recording this, that it's all free, nothing, what do we say? Nothing jazzy of sorts. I'm going to add the link in the description, just with the pure intention that whatever we've shared, breaking that down for free for people. 2, I mentioned that I'm going to actually create a flowchart of sorts to summarize my learnings from this interaction. And 3, we'll also add references to the people that you mentioned, like Jathin Capital and other people that you've mentioned. We add their links as well.
Yeah.
We'll also add links to your social media so that if people want to find you, they can.
Yeah.
And that's it. I've always been intrigued, and I've always been curious to understand, that how did you get started, starting at 17, building whatever you've built, doing great work, experiencing to work with you, because we have worked together. And this is the reason we're doing this, because I know that whatever you've shared, it's real, it's true, and I think you're pretty good at what you do. I've also seen you train my team, so this is real shit. And you've not held yourself back. You've pretty much shared everything. So thank you for doing that on behalf of everybody. And it's been a pleasure to have you today.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks. Hopefully it reaches more people and it could have like better impact. And that was the whole goal of this conversation and all that.
All right.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys. Cheers. We're gonna add everything in the description. Bye bye.